It's my birthday. I'm fucking 19.
You don't understand.
I am.
I wanna call her and go home. I want the man in the mirror to know I love you unconditional. Yeah, I was young. So I just got fired for my first time ever. Okay, so. Oh, I'm still on an acid trip right now, but it's pretty amazing. I'm making this movie for multiple reasons now. I've had to switch the idea multiple times because of certain events that has happened. I originally wanted to make the movie to help people think of what they have to do in life to keep going. And this movie was to help them understand that they can keep going. Hopefully. My idea in life is that you have to move with time. Understand and think about what you have to do to fix the issues that are going on now. And this is with your life. I have my life and my own issues. I wanted to make this movie not only to help people, but also try and help myself. My name is Yoshi. My legal name is Jose, which you're gonna hear a lot in the video. But the idea of this movie, why I made it into a movie and not a YouTube video like a story time or let's do another challenge, was because I wanted to introduce this idea called pocket television. Pocket television is supposed to be this concept, TV, but not on a big screen. A TV on the go, on a social media platform. This has already been done on Instagram and on Snapchat, I believe. But the idea came to mind when James Charles made his Insta influencer show, which, real quick, if James, you're seeing this, thank you so much for being a human and growing to become somebody strong and somebody beautiful, somebody powerful, which you were always beautiful, but you just became much more intelligent and stronger from the struggles that you went through in life. You've helped me with my issues in depression and anxiety. Of course, you're not the only one, but you are a big impact in my life. I'm actually going to talk about James more in the video later on, but other than that, the Insta influencer, which was beyond a success. It was a perfect representation of pocket television. I wanted to make this movie, kind of to make the idea a little bit more popular, more well-known. Hopefully that explains it good, and hopefully this movie is a good representation of pocket television instead of being just another YouTube video. I first wanted to start the movie with my story. So at the beginning of 2020, actually, you know what? Let's go a little bit before 2020. I wanted to make my mark in history as a writer, as a fictional writer, and create stories for the public to see. I was going to publish some books, but the companies gave me bad deals and I wasn't really trusting of them because of the people that I've talked to, and I was young and it really didn't work out. So then I went into music because I realized you could get somewhere faster making lyrics that sound good if people like the sound, get a liking so that I can get enough money to buy a house and a car, not rely on anyone, and so that I can also have enough money to help other people. Because my idea, real quick, it wasn't about making money, but how to make it and what I was going to do with it next. Then that didn't work out because I got scammed. That's a whole different story I'm not gonna get into. I decided that I needed to trust people and I needed to find some people that had the same ideas that I had and that I could talk to before working with. So that's why I decided to go to college. I didn't realize I already had people in my span of networking that I already made, so I went to go look for more. That's why I went to college, and college did not work out for me at all. During spring break, for when I was in college, that's when Corona hit, actually. Oh my gosh, yes. Wow, that's crazy. So, something happened with me and the people who I'm living with. I needed a job. I was already looking for a job, but like now the process needed to be faster. So I found a job. I was there for a little bit. You know what? Before anything else, I'm actually going to show you this clip I was going to put in the original making of the movie. Okay, so this is the third time I'm making this same audio. Hello. Hello. And I realize this is really hard. I will never be happy. But I'm gonna keep going because there's no use in stopping. My name is Yoshi, and this is the third attempt again of me trying to make my movie. Why can't anything happen? Why can't anything happen? This movie's mainly about the idea that people gotta make sense of what they gotta do to keep going. People gotta make sense of what they gotta do in life. Because if life is not about progression and what people have to do to think about what to do to be happy and move forward, then what's life about? But tying into that umbrella idea, this movie is also about how difficult it was, the struggles I went through, and some events that happened in my life. I do hope you enjoy. Yeah, the movie starts with me getting fired. So enjoy these clips of me getting fired.
I'm about to go buy a chicken and bake that bitch whole. That's what I want, some baked chicken, some rice, some salad.
No, pandemic, so we're all locked in the house, can't work. So everybody who makes under $100,000 gets a check. If you're eligible, it's a lot that you have to be eligible for.
Right?
I'm going to talk
because
to
it's not
everyone
stealing money from the government.
because
Obama
I
went there steal
felt there's
money
some
and used
things
the name of the
that are not
president to
okay.
make money for himself. So
So
he already
first
got
it
the
was
money
the
already.
headphones.
Yeah.
And I
It was
want him to be the
$25,
president
which
again.
we paid for,
I
but
want
we
him to
can't
be the
keep,
president again,
which doesn't
honestly.
make sense.
I
But
don't
everybody
care.
was obviously, well,
He's better
people
than-
weren't okay, but they let it
Yeah,
go.
he's better than
Because like we
Obama.
needed a job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then number two,
Word. I second
I am
then
telling you.
number two, remember the card,
Obama
the pay
said a
card?
woman have the right to
So
abort
if we
a
don't
child.
use the bank of the pay card that it's assigned to,
no.
we get a deduction of $2,
No, you have the
$2.50.
right not to be
And we didn't
pregnant.
find
You know
out
that?
until
Yes.
yesterday because
But
this
there's
was
no
2
way
days
you
ago
are
that we
pregnant,
found
you
out
wanna
about
take-
the pay
you wanna
card.
take life.
You weren't here yesterday.
You don't
This is
make
when I
life.
went down yesterday.
But this
Everyone
is-
got the pay
The
card and
only
then we
way
found
never
out
make-
in writing that it said it deducts
No
$2.50
woman can get raped.
from whichever other bank.
Okay.
And we didn't, Miss didn't tell us that.
Conversation.
Miss didn't tell us that. Miss didn't tell us
I'm gonna
that.
get upset. Like,
Did she? The
So
day?
you
She
think
actually said,
what happened?
She actually said it won't charge you, but she was like, well, I'm sure it'll come with an envelope which gives all that information. But she
Yeah.
said if you go to the bank, you can withdraw it all.
Yeah, but the bank of the card. Any other bank we can't use.
And
that,
those cards don't have a physical bank.
Yeah,
If they
you
do,
outweigh-
it'd be like,
Let me. So first, this is actually what I'm gonna say to her. That's that we have to go to now.
yeah, you need the app.
Yeah, right.
to put cash on, they charge you $6.
Immediately start saving money with interest.
If your card gets declined, 50 cents. Withdraw from other ATMs out of network, $3 plus the ATM fee.
So tell me if this makes sense
Why does
when.
it say no fee withdrawals though?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's all
but
about
you-
your balance. They charge you 75 cents.
But you know,
Excuse me?
I'm saying you could, when you get deposit, the money to this account,
Mhm.
you could do direct deposit. As soon as this hits this account, it send it all to another account.
Yeah, and she said.
Or 80% or whatever percent you want to go to another account.
She
Yeah.
said that
The
she already
thing that you
told
don't get charged for is if you go to an ATM, like a Money Pass
She
ATM.
said that 2 days ago.
2 days ago. What?
2 days ago,
Which
she
one
said
is
if
it,
you want a
Money
card,
Pass?
but no, she said if you don't want a card and you don't tell me 2 days ago, you don't tell me today,
No, this
then
is
you're getting a pay
because I know what
card.
you're talking about.
That's
Because
what
I
she
was
said
there.
to
I remember,
all
I
of
remember what she said. She was like, because she was talking about, she was like, pay card. They come in today. If you don't want one, put your name on the list. If you do want one, nothing needs to be done. That's what she said. That was all she said about pay card. And
Okay.
then somebody had asked a question. They were like, "Are there any fees?" And then took the money out. She was like, "No." You're supposed to introduce those pay cards. You're
Because
not
nobody else
supposed to
is
do
talking
like
about
that.
this. Nobody else is gonna like mention this. So like somebody needs to. It doesn't need to be me. But if it's not me, who else is gonna do it?
I don't like how they're pocketing the $25.
That's what I'm
and they let
saying.
Everybody sit everywhere using all the
That's all-
this BS that don't open no doors. It's $15.
What?
Yes, she did.
No, I
Swear to
didn't.
God, you
I swear to
did.
God.
I swear to God, everybody did.
Guys, hold up.
But you said when we leaving, we're gonna get the money
That's
back.
what they say, but why?
You guys are not slaves. You guys need money, but at the same time, you guys can get a better job. I don't want her to make you guys think that you guys cannot get a better job because of this recession. This needs to be talked about. Because if she comes at me with some shit, I'm okay. Everyone else? Well, how's everyone's day? Okay, let's work out, girls. What? 1, 2, 3.
I love those.
Good afternoon, everybody. How is everybody this afternoon? Good? So glad to see you guys' faces. Thank you so much. Glad to see you, boss. Thank you. Appreciate that. I do apologize that the announcement was not made last night as in the shift that we started at 4. I apologize. It will be corrected and it will not happen again. Okay?
All forgiven.
So, on to some other things. Okay, so I know I didn't get a chance to tell you. Do I have everybody's I apologize. You know, I'm human. I forget. I'm sorry. But I definitely want to do it today. So, here are the numbers. So that's 6,000. We have 6,000 of a cent.
6,000 of a cent.
Are there any questions? Yes.
I have a question. Are we over with briefing?
I'm sorry?
Are we over with briefing?
Why?
No, I just have a question after briefing.
So we're still in briefing right now.
Okay, sorry guys.
No, sir, I cannot. That's why I say, it's crazy. We're late. Not wait. So when you be over, find a desk and clock in immediately because I cannot go back and change your time. I specifically say that in training for that purpose. I cannot change your time. Change your time. If you don't clock in on time, that is on you, okay? I cannot, I will not, I am not going to change your time. Okay, I can't change the time. I wish I could, but I can't. Any other questions? No? Yes, you are actually in production now. Welcome.
Like after 12?
So yes, Wave 5 is on the floor now. Yay! They made it to production. Yay! I started training Wave 6 today. Part 2 of Wave 6 will be tomorrow. So yes, we are getting them in, right? But you also noticed that probably half the people you started with are no longer here. So yes. Because we have, because we're new to Orlando, we have not implemented that. We don't have a need to implement it yet.
And if I tell my friends or so, can they come in any time? Or?
Have them reach out to your recruiter
Okay.
and have them go through that process properly.
All right.
Okay?
All right. Are they always hiring? Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll let them know.
Ooh, I got a couple of announcements. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so announcement number 1. Everybody's going to get a check this week. Everyone will get a check this week because we did not get our information into Rapid in time. Okay? So this will be the last week for checks. Okay? I promise the last week for checks. Next week, you guys will get pay cards. Newbies will definitely get a pay card. Newbies is going to get a pay card. Yes.
Everybody get a card?
Checks.
I'm saying you said next week we're gonna be getting cards.
So those people if you know you're supposed, shut up. She's trying to trip me up, and I'm trying not to say certain stuff. Oh, you good? Right, stop. Yes.
So this week we're all getting a check, right?
Yes.
So next week all the money's going to the card.
That one
Yes.
of the cards.
So can we choose not to get the money in the card?
So, honey, remember when I stood up here on Monday on a swollen knee and I told y'all to let Omar know this is the third time that I've had this conversation with you personally? But remember when I told y'all to let Omar know if you wanted a paper check or a card and I said it had to be done by that day because I was turning in the list?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
but,
so the list was submitted. Your name was not on there.
I mean, it still kind of doesn't make sense. You said the information didn't go through, right?
So just because our corporate information didn't go through does not have nothing to do with an agent getting a card. You didn't provide your information in time, honey. You're getting a card. I'm sorry. We talked about this, Jose.
No, I know, but that's
So why are we still talking about it?
Because it's like there's
So
some.
let's take it offline.
But I think.
Jose, let's take it offline.
Well, I do have something to say.
But
Actually.
can we take it? Do you know what take it offline means, honey?
Speak separately.
Yes.
I know,
already
but
asked for it. You
Because
don't-
we are. I gotta wrap this up. It's
No.
almost 5. It's 4:30.
this
We
is-
gotta
this
get
is not for me.
going.
I already spoke to you.
Does this
separately.
have to do with
Yes,
this?
it has to do with work. Actually.
With the campaign?
Not the campaign, but
Okay,
work.
so I have to get people live.
Okay.
It's 4:32.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, I do have something to say, but like before everyone gets live. But
Jose,
okay, no.
this is my briefing, honey.
I know,
You cannot
yeah.
try to hijack my briefing.
No.
Meet me in my office, please.
But I do have something to
Can
say.
you meet me in my office, please? Just meet me in
Okay,
my office.
I'm sorry, but I do just want something to say. But like, if I don't have, I can't. I'm sorry. I have like.
Can you talk to me about it in my office, and I will determine if it's enough for if it needs to be said to everybody. Okay?
I just don't know if you're gonna say it to everybody. That's the thing.
So, Jose,
Get fired or you not, bro.
what is the issue? Can you please? I'm asking you one of two things. Meet me in my office, and let's take it offline. Let me get everybody live.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Meet me in my office.
Okay. I just really want everybody to know.
Jose, why are you steady trying to say it? Just
Okay.
go into my office, honey.
Okay. Okay. I will. I just want
Don't,
everybody.
Jose, if you say
Okay,
it's not
okay,
the
okay,
card,
just wait for it,
I'm going
just
to pluck you out and walk
Okay.
you out the
Okay,
door.
okay, okay.
It will not be. Shut up. Don't you say okay.
So the pay cards, right? She didn't tell us that money was going to be deducted before we got the pay cards, right? She didn't tell us about that. That was so. If we don't use our banks, we don't use our banks, that $2.50 is going to be deducted from the pay card, right?
Per month.
Per month.
Per transaction.
No, I needed everybody to know. Like, everybody will know what. So that money is going to be deducted from the money that you make, right? When you use, $2.50 per transaction, and you're not getting enough money to pay whatever you need to pay, right?
Oh, yeah, we supposed to get double.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it's a money issue. It's a money issue that I don't feel everyone's getting all their money that they need. You know what I mean? But like, that's what I wanted to say. That's why I wanted everybody to know. But she wouldn't let me say it in front of everyone.
Get your stuff. I told you, just be quiet. Come on, get your stuff ready. Y'all gotta give me a second. Tell me what campaign. Yo.
It's a money issue, guys. And like, look into the cards, guys. Look into the cards.
When I ask you to take something offline, that is exactly what I mean. It does not mean for Jose to continue to take it upon himself and continue on with the conversation that he wants to get out.
Yeah.
Come on,
Well,
honey.
it's about the
Come
pay
on.
card.
Jose, will you come on? Stop trying to talk and let's go.
I'm coming.
Right
It's about your pay.
Jose, let's go. What? Stop talking.
I'm walking.
Stop talking.
Why can't I
Go.
keep talking?
Go.
Okay.
Because now you're officially fired. Let's
I
go.
understand.
Let's go, Jose.
Your pay
Let's
card.
go.
Can everyone-
Please go.
Your pay
Please
card.
go, honey.
Everyone look
Please
into your
go.
money. You're not getting your money. Please.
Hello.
You're not getting your money.
Don't spread lies. Because I've had this card before, and you're spreading lies.
I'm not spreading lies.
Jose,
Please stop touching
can
me.
you please get
stop
out?
touching me.
Can you please leave?
I have information that everybody needs to know, and I'm going to leave. Everyone, please look into your money. Your money. Please look into your money, okay? Look into your money. You guys are not getting the money. I had something to say about your money. Please. Okay, I know that I'm leaving. No, but at least they could have known. They could have known. Even though, like, at least they could have known. I know, but I couldn't. I wasn't allowed to say anything. Why wasn't I allowed to say anything?
It's over, so it's not gonna change anything.
That's not right.
Okay, but
I had something to say about the pay
but
card.
Jose, you worry about your money only. If it's an issue with that, address it on the side, but you don't.
I did, but if I addressed it on the side, it wouldn't happen. But like I can't see you guys. That's the problem.
Okay, well, that's what you have to do.
Oh my God. What? Like, what? Listen, I tried to tell them what's up. Like,
Sometimes
you gotta stop around myself and not worry about anybody else. But at the same time, I was worrying about myself. Even though I'm fired right now, I'll still be well off, but still I needed to make my money to try and pay rent and insurance and my cards things. And I was thinking my money taken away from me. Like, because I didn't want to pay a card, I think that money, whatever's going to the card that is getting out of my check is going to her. Or into workforce, wherever, I don't give a f***. Like, it doesn't matter, but why do I have to stay still, stay quiet, and just take it? Like, that doesn't make sense. I'm not a slave into who I have to work for. I know money is an issue. I know money is going to be something that I always have to deal with. But why wouldn't she let me speak? Like, I don't understand why I can't word out my opinion.
Express yourself.
Yeah, and let everybody else know. I knew I could have got fired, and I was ready for that. Except I wasn't strong enough to say shit. Like, if I wasn't strong enough, do you think this is right? Like, you're obviously in this for the money. Like you're not looking, everyone's getting screwed over. And you don't care, because obviously money is just the only thing that worries you about life. Not about living, not about being happy, right? Right? Oh, but it doesn't make sense. I just wanted to talk, and I didn't even fight it. I just got fired for no reason because I wasn't able to say what's going on. Like, no, but it doesn't make sense.
Let me give you some advice. Let today be the first day.
I'm gonna stay quiet. No, if I tried to, that doesn't make sense. If I tried to tell everyone what's going on, what's wrong, that they're getting the money taken away from them. Oh wow, never mind. I thought, no, but where's it gonna get you? Because you're part of it. The money being taken away from her.
Part of it?
Yeah.
I work here. I'm not over payroll or nothing.
Okay, so hey y'all. So as you know, obviously I'm in the process of making this movie. This is my first movie. There is trial and error. Of course, with this situation, I tried to have the least amount of errors in this part of the movie. Some words didn't come to mind when I first made this clip. So I'm making this video now, just stating that I had to go back and fix a few things just so that I could be clear. Because later on in the video, I mentioned it over again to be clear, but when first seeing it, you might get confused. So that's why I'm making this part, just to say I had to go back and redo those parts. I hope you enjoy. I'm going to speak about the company, and I'm gonna clear up some confusion. I'm outside just to give an aesthetic. Hopefully it works. First, I wanted to talk about the firm. The company was a new company. When we arrived, it was only open for about a week because we were the second wave that came in. Now, today, it's been open for like 2.5 months or 2 months from when I first went into the job with my first wave. I'm going to explain why I did everything, what was my reasoning for doing everything, and a few other things adding on to the reason. So I was looking for a job. I got this one. It didn't look weird. It looked like any normal call center. It looked really nice, actually. And it was new, so there was nothing sketchy. So first, in training, they told us that $35 was going to be deducted from our first check. $25 for headphones that they told us were new. And then $15 from cards that will let us in the building. The $25 for the headphones, we found out going into the job, the headphones were not new. The headphones, also, we didn't get to keep them, and we kept moving around, so we didn't have assigned seats, so we used each other's headphones. They told us we were going to get the money back. I never got my $25 back. And then the $15 for the card, they told us the same day that we were going to need to call one of them to open the door, but at the same time, they told us the cards to let us in the building were supposed to let us in the building. So tell me if that makes sense. $15 for cards that didn't let us in the building when they said the cards were going to let us in the building, and then $25 for headphones that we didn't get to keep. I didn't get my money back, and they weren't new. My manager said they were new. That's number one. Just number one. Okay, so the situation was weird. Again, I needed a job, and so did everybody else in my first wave, but we let go of everything that was sketchy. And yeah, it was unsmart of all of us to not look into this, but at the same time, nobody knew how bad Corona was. Nobody knew what situation was going to go on. Nobody knew anything. So we just kind of we actually did let everything go, and we passed over so many things that I'm going to explain right now, because again, we had our lives to worry about, but we weren't looking at it in detail. That's what this movie's about. I'm trying to help people realize to look at everything in detail, to think about what makes sense in life, what we have to do to keep going. And this, me being in the job, that entire situation did nothing for me. Again, I believe everybody looked over it because, again, nobody knew how bad Corona was. Everyone thought it was the end of the world, and it's not the end of the world. Things are bad. I'm not saying they're not bad. I'm not saying they're not bad. I am not saying they're not bad. But I am saying I still have to live my life, and I still have to think about what makes sense, what's right for me to do in life to keep going. This also, now most definitely after this happened, I'm not this type of person, but I was going a little bit towards over everyone's decision as well, agreeing with them in the sense that since nobody said anything, I didn't say anything until afterwards, and then I got fired. Another thing that was sketchy, they showed us pictures of the firm, the actual firm, supposedly, and our manager that said she was in the event that the pictures were taking place in. There were so many pictures, and my manager literally wasn't in any of the pictures. It could have been that she was behind the camera, but there were so many pictures. She was explaining all these different people's names, and that was just something, I guess, it could be the possibility she was behind the camera, but at the same time, that's something that while I was in training, I looked over, I was like, what? So, again, $35, headphones and cards. For what reason? That was first for orientation. After the month passed, then all of that, finding about the pay cards, then getting them, and then me getting fired happened in 3 days. After the month after we got hired, and orientation was already done, right? And I'm gonna mention something that's going to blow your mind. I'm gonna tell you something right now, which we all looked over, me and everybody else in the firm, which is crazy, is insane. Like, me thinking about it, oh my gosh. And it's very uneducated how we just looked over it. Now, this is gonna get really detailed. So if you want to write stuff down, I'm gonna be saying it very carefully. So please, pay attention. Like, just like the video, pay just as much attention. The starting time, we were working from 3:30 till 12 o'clock, 5 days a week. Here's the equation I want you to write down. 8.5 times 10 equals 85. 85 times 5 equals 425. Please write that down if you want to try and make a little bit more sense about what I'm about to say. Please. Starting time 3:30 p.m. to 12 p.m. at night. It was 8.5 hours. And they told us we were going to get a full check because of Corona, which in our mind, it was probably stating that taxes weren't going to be deducted. But then we found out taxes were deducted, and that was fine because taxes are taxes. Like, that's something everyone has to deal with. If they made a mistake on that, whatever. That was taxes. For me, myself, everyone's taxes are different. My taxes were $40 to $45. I'm bumping it up to $45. So, again, 3:30 till 12, 8.5 hours, my taxes were $45. My original check was $425, supposed to be without taxes deducted. Then, with taxes, the $45, it was $380. Still 8.5 hours, right? Right? Am I right? I could be wrong. I'm the baddest bitch that I know. And yo, the cutest thing happened. So, okay. Back to the movie. I'm gonna start all over. Sorry, I had to help a friend with a situation, but back to this shit. So, bitch, listen. 3:30 till 12, 8.5 hours, full check because of Corona. We found out with our first check that taxes were gonna be deducted. That's okay. My taxes were $40 to $45. I'm boosting up to $45. My original check was $425, then $380 because of taxes. Still 8.5 hours, right? Now, my first check was supposed to be $380. Was supposed. My first check was $300. My first check was $300. Now, $380 subtract the $35 from the headphones and the card. That's still $345, if I'm correct. Where the f*** is my $45? So, my next check was $297.58. And my last check was $291.74. Now, focusing on my first check. Going again, $301.93 divided by 5 equals $60.39. $60.39 divided by 10 equals $6.04. my first week, my actual pay was $6.04. And I'm telling you right now, the first week, I know for sure, for my first week, we did not go home early at all. We were not sent home early any day whatsoever. We stayed from 3:30 till 12 o'clock at night every single day for the first week. Right? So where's my $45? You know that book, where's the, what's that book? What's that book's name? Where's Dolpho? I have no idea. The book where like it has a bunch of pictures and you have to find that one character. Where's Waldo? Oh. Okay, shut up. You know that book? Where's Waldo? Where's my $45? Alrighty then. Good morning. This is the last part before we can finally get into the questions. But this is just as important. Look at this. I applied on ZipRecruiter, which it verified that this job was $10 an hour. As well, the last piece of information I would want to give you to have you guys think. I went to the job because after I got fired, I had to get, I forgot what I had to get. I had to get my last check. So I got my last check and I gave them my card, but there was somebody there that was locked outside. That they had to call somebody to come and open the door. That proved about the card what sense did it make. Like, oh my god. Oh, this is what we talked about. And did you notice, did you have to pay for your cards?
No.
Those? You didn't have to pay for your cards?
No.
Wait, $15. You didn't have to pay for this?
It's probably going to be deducted out of the check.
Yeah, and they didn't tell you?
No, they didn't tell me.
Wait, so, in the audio of, like, when I got fired and all of that, one of my other coworkers that was already there didn't know that $15 was going to be deducted.
The headphones and then this BS that don't open no fucking doors is $15.
What?
Okay. Everybody paid for this.
I didn't pay for this.
Yes, you did.
No, I
Swear to
didn't.
God, you did. I swear to God, everybody did.
Guys, hold up. So that was also confusing. There were people in waves that weren't told about the $15 or the $25. And but my wave was. What? Oh, that's just something else to put into consideration. That some people were told some information about money, and then some people were told other information. The company is called Arrow Workforce, but yeah, I think that's it. Awesome. Now let's go into the next part of the video, the questions. The questions are going to be answered by a few of my friends that I've actually recently came to know, and they're pretty out there, so bear with me. I think they'll also give more of an entertainment than just me, Yoshi. So yeah, you're about to meet Mr. I don't give a Mobius Fade, and I don't know if Tadashinki is gonna be in the video, but I hope you enjoy, and you're beautiful. So after that video, I was supposed to post another video of me explaining some of the questions that you may have had. But before I post that and I show you that video, I wanted to show you the Snapchats that I made right after I got fired. Hey, so I just got fired for my first time ever, bruh. And my pussy ass, because I'm so stupid, didn't say what was needed to be said. But I got fired because this job, Arrow Workforce, was gonna take money out of the checks when I don't even get a full check. So they were gonna take money from each deduction. They were gonna deduct money from each transaction I was gonna make on the card they gave us. So I was trying to tell everyone that, and then my manager started screaming at me, saying that, oh no, we need to talk about this in private, when I already tried and it didn't work. So she started screaming at me, and I started walking, trying to tell everyone, look at the money. Let's stop it right there and talk about it. And let's stop right there. Let's not talk about it. Let's talk about the video before the Snapchat. The clip that was in the movie that was going to be in the original making of the movie. One big problem that I came with when making the movie was when I edited. I'm making this movie on my phone. When I went back to edit each and every time and then saved the video, the audio will sound worse and worse and worse. That's why it sounds so staticky in the original clips that you saw. I wanted to real quick introduce the people that I mentioned at the end of that clip. Tadashinki, Mobius, and IDGAF. So I was originally not going to put them in the film, but since I'm telling my story, I'm gonna have to. After I got fired, I kept looking at ideas to try and find ways to get the message out that the company was scamming people. They were messing people up. And I still wanted to help people. It wasn't only about like putting the word out about that. So I went on Instagram, I went on Snapchat, I went on whatever. And then after all of that, the idea of the movie came up. But beforehand, I was experimenting with Instagram. So the clips that you're going to see now are of Mobius, Mr. I Don't Give a Fuck, and Tadashinki. After you guys meet IDGAF, Mobius, and Tadashinki, the movie goes back into your questions that you may have for the clips of when I got fired. Again, bear with me. I do hope you enjoy, and I'll see you soon. Bitch. This shit's bright as fuck, but good 3:23 in the morning. That's AM. Let's talk about something. I have to write this shit down, bro. Hi. So again, I was talking about how in this day and age, how did we get here? Why are things this way? Why are things like they are? You know, does it make sense to live if I'm gonna die? Like, I'm talking to the ghost, by the way. Does that make sense to you? Uh-huh. I love you too. So, yeah. How did we get here? You know what I mean? Because right now I think we're stuck. So, as I was saying, I don't think we're going anywhere. There's no progression. I don't see anything. Again, I kind of don't have a house, so this is not my house. This is whose house is this? Oh shit. What I was saying is that right now a lot of people think that because there's troubling times, we can't go anywhere, that we're just fixated on not being able to get better just because things are bad now, because it's so hard, right? Okay, I don't know what the fuck that ending was. Let's rewind. All right. Hi. Let me take it slower. Let me bust it down a notch. Okay? What I was saying is that right now, people, because of these troubling times, are trying to find something, a stable place in life, because they're scared that anything can happen. But people that survived this long have survived for a reason. Whether there's been situations that have made them stronger, or even the people that are broken now, they're still alive. They may not want to be, or they may be on the edge of the afterlife because of what's going on. Okay, so take 3 of Mr. I Don't Give a Fuck. They won on Snapchat. Yeah. A little screw up can ruin everything just because of what's happening right now, especially with the recession about to happen. Take 4 of Mr. I Don't Give a Fuck. Day 1 on Snapchat. So, there's been troubling times all out through history, all out through our lives. Right now is a time harder for others, maybe not for some people. Okay, so each one of these Snapchats I've been doing, and this is my fifth one. I sound more like an asshole every time, and it's like, what? That's not what I'm trying to do. Oh, well, Mr. I Don't Give a Fuck is an asshole, but he's a smart asshole, and I'm trying to portray that, and it's not working. So Mr. I Don't Give a Fuck, take 6. Let's talk about progression. Getting somewhere in life, trying to get into a better state of mind, that we are able to do anything, believe that anything can happen, know the possibilities, but don't act aggressively if unintended to, or sporadically because of agitation, of understanding what might happen, the negative. Because if it's positive, people don't worry about it. This is Mr. I Don't Give a Fuck. Day 2. Why go to school? You know what I mean? So but then again, to us is obvious, to other people, what you think is obvious, it may not be to them. So we learn through life and growing. People learn differently. Some people don't learn the same things that you learn. So school is a place where we can learn, but then we also learn from growing up. Progress. You don't think of a way to progress, as I was saying before. Excuse me. Also known as a uneducated person to some. I am one of those some who think those people are uneducated, not to be able to think of a way to get the fuck better. If not get better, why are you living? For anyone, and yes, even getting to the point of retirement is a pathway to get better, to get to that point. So please ask yourself, why the fuck you have these issues? Why is it happening? And also, please think of ways to get better. So you think nothing will change. Life only sounds easy. L-I-F-E. Life. It's not that hard to get into, literally. What's hard is the part after you get into it. And yes, I'm talking about after you are birthed into the world. That's when life gets complicated and hard to understand. That's why you gotta think, what makes sense? Being stuck or moving the fuck on? Thank you. why. So you just met Mr. IDGAF. We call him D. Me, Mobius, and Tadashinki. You met Mobius Fade, and you met Tadashinki. These characters are going to come about more often in Mobius's YouTube channel because it is his channel anyways. But I created them originally as a form of experimentation, kind of to play around with the idea of acting and see what I can make up. Also, these characters tie into just some of who I was at different stages in my life. Now I'm a totally different person from how any of these people act about. I would most say I'm most similar to probably Mobius, but still very, very far off different. That was just for a little form of entertainment. So, and they're just three. There's many different characters that I've made in my imagination that I don't talk to, that I'll act out as in the future, that you'll see, that represent who I was at a time in my life. If you want to see more of them, you could go to @MobiusFade. That's Mobius's Instagram. One character I am going to talk about that you guys will see often and very much so soon is Dante Clips. Dante is this kind of anger that was inside of me. The type of, you know, those people that look angry but are quiet, and you kind of you assume that they're always angry. When you ask them, they'll say, no, this is just my resting bitch face. But in themselves, they really are angry. They just don't say it and portray it because they don't want to cause an issue. And they put an act on, but they don't know how to put the face on. That's supposed to be Dante. But that's all I wanted to say about Dante. Awesome! Back to the movie. I was really livid after I got fired because of the situation, how hectic it was at the moment, and the adrenaline going through my veins. So, through the video, I was just letting out my emotion and letting out my frustration. That was me 2 months ago because this happened, I think it's already been 3 months or 2.5 months after I got fired from that job. I got another job a week and 5 days afterwards, which is not that long. The only problem was that Corona was still going on, and the job that I got was another call center that was as well just as sketchy. So now I'm much more collected, I'm much more controlled. At the time when I made those videos, I was very nervous with everything. Very hectic in my train of thought. Alright, before we continue on so that everyone could get the timeline straight, first, it was 2020, the beginning. I was going to college, going in for my music. Something happened with the people that I'm living with and myself that I needed to find a job quicker. It was already spring break it was already after spring break when Corona was kind of going on. And I had gotten the job where we were getting scammed. Since Corona was going on, like that situation, I couldn't go anywhere to make my music. So I started making Tadashinki, Mobius, and Mr. D. In the meanwhile, to try and get a liking on Instagram, maybe YouTube, and Snapchat. A month afterwards of me already being in the job, that's when things started getting weird, and I got fired. So then after I got fired is when I make these next clips. But these next clips are answering previous questions. So hopefully that timeline is not as confusing as it sounds. But yeah. Now, this clip I'm going to show you next was actually going to be, again, in the original, one of the original makings of the film before this one. So, this one explains a lot of questions that you may have. Hopefully this clears things up. Hey, some people may have questions to me getting fired and all of that going on. Well, first, the reason I tried to speak during briefing, or even why I tried telling everyone or ask her in front of everyone at all, I do believe in focusing on yourself first. And if you have the ability to be generous without hurting yourself, then also being generous. I already tried to ask why I couldn't get my paper check back. She told me the same thing, and everyone, including myself, already asked about direct deposit. She told me, I'll get back to you on that. And it's been 3 weeks. Oh, at that time, it was 3 weeks after I already asked her, and I already heard everyone else not getting also a direct answer for direct deposit. I asked her first calmly in front of everyone because she continually stated, if there are any questions about the job, ask me in OR briefing or in my office. And I already tried asking her in her office. If she never had said that, I don't think not only myself but anybody else wouldn't have asked any questions in OR briefing at all. So lastly, I did it because, again, I already tried to fight for my money. It didn't work. Also, I'm trying to become the best person I can be. I have friends and people that think whatever they want, but to make me stronger, I would say in my past, I was broken, I was a piece of shit, I was a simp, and very weak, extremely weak, like weak beyond weak. So many people that I worked with said, it's just a job. It's also your life. Money isn't everything, but it's a lot. I think it shouldn't be about making money, but how are you going to make it and what you're going to do with it? I have my parents, others have their kids, and or live alone paying for school, and that job was doing less than the bare minimum to pay for transportation and food. I think life is about what makes sense to do in life to move forward, progress, and or be happy. And all this was... Oh, it made no sense. You wouldn't have done this if you didn't have your mom and dad. First of all, you don't know my situation. And I don't mean to be like aggressive, and I don't want to be. But this is my response. I don't know your life and your story, and I know there's more to your story. You don't know what's going on in mine. Just because somebody has something that somebody else doesn't have, doesn't mean their life is perfect. In my eyes. And doesn't mean also that their life is the worst life ever. Doesn't mean I'm living the worst life ever. Because I'm still fighting and I still have to keep going. Because there's nothing else I can do. If my situation for everything was better, like my situation of me being where I am now, no. If my situation was worse, I mean, like if I was on cement, I would have still been thinking about what didn't make sense and click that I wasn't making enough money. Then I would have stayed there, recorded as much as I could of audio while looking for another job. Then, when getting another job, I would have then quit, sued them, and get the money I and my others were not given, and kept focusing on my struggling self. At least you have a job. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm working on it. Okay. Things are always going to be bad. But that's okay. Because things are hard at first will hopefully mean if I keep fighting, they're going to be easier in the long run. This is not a sign. I don't take signs as negative or positive because I used to do that a lot. And it affected me when I felt something was negative. There is a mole, the animal. It is dead in front of me. There's ants, I think, eating it right now. And I'm still okay. I'm not okay seeing that. Okay, at least you have a job. I understand Corona's bad. That's why I'm not suing the company. Not because I don't have money issues. I could just sue them and then get more money by suing them. I'm making this movie so people can know, because even though all of that happened with the company, they are still a source of income. Also, about Corona. Okay, I'm going to get in detail about this, and this is probably where I'm going to get the most hate in the video. Also, about Corona, off topic, can I ask humanity a question? I think I already asked it in the video, but I'm going to ask it again. Right now, what happened to killing the virus? And I'm not talking about doctors. I'm talking about you. What happened to staying healthy, walking in the sun with your dog or by yourself, or exercising, or drinking lots of water, or taking vitamins, or 3 showers a day if you're that type of person? I don't feel it's about staying home. I feel it's about more, if you want to stay away from people, you can, and you should, if you want to, if you feel that's the best decision for you to make to stay safe. You can stay away from people, but staying at home, just staying at home and that's all you're doing, maybe seeing Netflix, or I don't know, not really keeping yourself healthy, I don't know how that's going to help your situation. That's what I think. Why is it so dark? Now, okay, this is where I'm actually going to get the most hate. Now, on another side note, I know this part of the movie is going to get the most hate. I wanted to say that my point in life is moving forward, and with humanity as a whole. I don't want issues or problems, but I know they're going to happen. It's not that I want them to happen, it's that what's the best choice for me to make so that we can move forward. Because sometimes keeping the peace will hurt someone more. It's not about who's right or wrong, because there's so many different rights and wrongs. It's about what we have to do as either individuals or as a whole to keep going. Why can't anything happen? There was another part, I don't know where the paper is, but I was going to say how so many people have been saying staying home is the most important thing. There was recently a collab with some of the biggest beauty gurus in the game right now. And I pay my respects to each and every one of them for personal reasons and for them being so strong and so brave to be able to go on social media and just live, even though they have their struggles or had their struggles. One specific person I wanted to talk about was James Charles, but I'm going to talk about him later in the video. I wanted to first say that, again, I pay my respects, but the number one thing they said was most important was staying home. Hey. What happened to being healthy? What happened to living life? Okay, so now going into James. James, I have huge plans, not only for myself, but for you as well. I would really like you to hit me up if you see this so that we can talk in person. On the phone, I don't like talking on the phone with people. Like, I'd rather have face-to-face interactions. That physical, like, I see you, you see me, we're able to talk as people. Real, not through technology. I mean, I'll use technology to keep in contact once in a while, but I'd rather make plans to see people face to face, just because I'd rather be with nature or just be outside. James, I love you so much, and you've helped me with a lot of depression and anxiety. Just you being you, especially who you are now. And then now you become one of the most beautiful kings I've ever seen. And everyone's beautiful, but some people have affected me more in life than other people. And James, you're definitely one of those people. Lastly, I don't know, I made a part of the video before. I don't know if it's clear or not because I did it at night. So I'm going to do it in the day. So hopefully, I don't know if it is going to change you hearing me or not. But now you can see me, so I'm glad. But The reason also I made this movie was to I have so many ideas, so many concepts that I would like to portray. Okay, so then afterwards, I'm probably gonna post that next part, the ending of that video, on Mobius's YouTube channel. Basically, I just explain again what pocket television is, a little bit more in depth. Before we continue on to the next part, I wanted to first talk about some of my ideals. Some reasons why I wanted to try and help people. A lot of people around me, people in the video of where I got fired, they believed that that was just a job, things weren't gonna get better, things are not improving. Okay. Things are always going to seem bad at all times because people tend to see the bad first. I realize that I can know what may happen negatively as a negative outcome, but I shouldn't be afraid and I shouldn't overreact in a negative sense that will make things worse. I should just realize that the problems may happen and what I have no control over, I can't change. Now there's things that I can think about and combat what I can do to fix them or prevent the negative from happening in my life. And then I realize as well what my reason of living is. What's the point of life? For me at least. Everyone tries to think of their wrong and right, what their ideal of life is. But then I realized that so many people have different wrongs and rights. Who can I agree or disagree with? I have perceptions of what I believe is wrong, but what I believe life is about moving with time, trying to move forward, make things better, become stronger. Not only myself, this is what I actually believe is the ideal of humanity, because again, everyone has a different wrong and right, or what they have as their own perception of what life is about, their own idea. But I realized, to me, this is to me. Tying everything in, it goes into walking with time. If you say that everything's about family, everything's about money, everything's about your happiness, everything's about paying bills, working, children, animals, nature, you still want the best for them, or that's what I believe. If you believe that's what life is about, what will you do for them to make them stronger? What will you do for them to help them go above the issues that you've been through? And I tied all of that into trying to walk with time forward. Because so many people try to walk backwards. They end up suicide, or they're stuck in the state that they're in, feeling that they would never get past their issues. But even still, those people still want to walk and keep moving forward. At least that's what I believe. That's what makes sense to me. Instead of having an ideal of right and wrong, I do have my own thoughts of what I think is right and wrong. Some people agree with me, some people don't. But this is what my ideal about life is. Walking with time, figuring out how to fix the issues that are in my life right now. Not only for myself, but for humanity as a whole. Because I've thought about, what if no one was around? There was no other human on earth or any living being other than plant life. What's the point? What was I going to do? Make a bunch of houses by myself? If money was everything and there was no humans to help me make that money or assist me with whatever, and I only had money in my hands, all the money in the world, what was I going to do? Make a pyramid and then burn it? If my ideals was that family was everything, what was I going to do for my family to help them go past the issues in life, that they may see in the future and that I hopefully can know that they can overcome. And the same thing with my friends and the other humans that I love. What makes sense? Hello? Hello? Okay, so now back to the video that you saw before I started talking. The timeline of that was that being after the situations which I'm going to explain in my life happened.